Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo and for my winner, M, today. Woo! Thank you, M, for coming on and watching my video and actually wanting to heal. Because that's what this channel is all about. All my channels are about healing the effects of trauma. So know that you may resonate with this energy, or the person that you're thinking about is resonating with this message more. Actually, understand you always get the message that you need to hear, not the one that you really want to hear. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't get to hear anything nice. You do. However, you get to hear the truth, and the truth of what your soul wants, how to create the life and the life experiences that you want to have, to take you out of a place of disempowerment and fear and into a place of abundance and success. So, do I look and see what's going to happen within your relationships? Of course I do. We have an ego part of self. We all want to know that. We all want to know, what does the person feel about me? What are they going to do? But a lot of times we don't like what we hear and we get triggered. And so the trigger tells us something about ourselves. And if we can actually integrate that trigger, we can quantum jump into the reality that we want. We can actually shape shift our situation, because soulmate and twin flames and any soul relationship teaches unconditional love. Now, does that mean that a relationship can't become toxic? Of course it can. Relationships, like, a lot of times they start off toxic because it's the level of consciousness that we're dealing with. So I like to put that out there, that I don't just look and see what's going to happen with your person or what's happening in your relationship or what they're going to do and all that interesting stuff. I like to look at the spiritual blocks. Like to look and see how they are playing out karmically within your situation, so that you can heal, so that you can transcend the limitations of yourself, so you can create your own heaven on earth. Because whether you like that person today, you might not like them tomorrow or next week. And as you heal, what you'll see is your wants, your needs, and your desires change, because your level of perception changes. You view yourself differently, so you wind up viewing the world differently. So it's more in alignment with your true self. But like I said, being in a situation that is triggering allows you to not just move out of that place of anxiety, which is what happens from trauma and overstimulation, but into a place of being able to think clearly, so you can actually change your situation to break the karmic cycles. Because karmic cycles, after a while, turn into karmic contracts. And especially if you've been dealing with a karmic mate, we know how frustrating it is. But understand, being around someone like that, you also need to recondition yourself. If you were around somebody that treated you like shit and made you feel bad and conditioned you to believe that you weren't good enough, pretty enough, and that they might not even have said it. It could have been in their actions. Psychic trauma. We form behaviorisms that are in alignment. My job, if I'm a good healer, and that's what I consider myself, I'm going to tell you what's blocking you, so you can, again, create the life and the life that you want. That's why all this talking in the beginning. It's not because I want to hear myself talk, but it's to help you understand. Awareness allows you to, like I said, make better choices, navigate your life successfully. But we need to know what those things are that are blocking you. So yes, like I said, we're going to jump right on in. Now, if you're somebody that's new and you're not M, and now M, if you're here, let me know that you're here. Say hello. But like I said, and if you're not, say hello anyway. But no, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video. Hey, I'm so glad that you're here. and say the word of the day. Now, this is going to be your reading, Emmy. Do you like M or Emmy? Because you need called your. I am so excited that you're here too. I really am because you first of all you have great energy. You have great energy, and that's the thing. And so, but you have trauma, and I can feel that you have trauma. But you're also on your soul's path. So you're always being supported. I want you to know that the universe is the same energy as God, which is unconditional love, which is the same energy that's inside you and inside of us, and it's our connection to each other. Is known as empathy and sensitivity, and you have beautiful sensitivity. You have gifts. You have gifts that you have not been utilizing, Spirit's saying. Once you just, the Spirit never lets, as soon as the person sits down, as soon as the ass hits the chair, Spirit starts channeling. Well, understand you're where you're supposed to be. Know that Spirit is guiding you, because you're a highly sensitive person. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you're intuitive. It means that you're emotional. It means that you're creative, that you're gentle. But the spiritual blocks that come with sensitivity is overstimulation. It's sometimes problems with relationships because people don't perceive you the way they perceive you, as your wound instead of you. Does that make sense? Now, I wanted to also pull the card, but Spirit wanted me to give you that message. There's obviously something in your reading is going to be reveling. Good. Okay. Now, like I said, if anyone wanted to enter into winning a free reading, they needed to write the word, and the word is aggressive. And me. Is Spirit here or what? Because it's like that's the energy that you got to deal with. It's like difficult energy. And what did I say? You're a highly sensitive person. So it seems like you pull people to you, which means that you have trauma from someone that's close to you that was very aggressive. So it tends to play out as experiences, especially when related to love. So that could mean close friendships. It could mean like obviously romantic partners. It could mean like anything that your abundance is being a little bit blocked because of that perception. So we look at I'm gonna jump right in and look at the wounds, and then we'll get to everything else, because that's where Spirit wanted to lead. Now, I'm not in charge. So we look at the wounds and we say, well, what are the shadows and what are the inner child wounds? To really understand, to dive deep, to say, like, what is it that I need to really heal? So we take the inner child cards out. You can't really see, and we take the shadow wound cards out, and then there's the other shadow card wounds. But just to get an idea of like your root chakra, and that's your connection to the earth, connection to how good you feel about yourself and what's really blocking it. Because we already established what blocks it, what triggers it, rather. I mean, trigger does block it if we get caught up in it. Okay, it's isolation, not really feeling like included, feeling different, so you never learned how to really fully master your sensitivity. Spirit saying, so making you feel different, not included. Again, laughter, it's not, and maybe laughing enough, and as highly sensitive. I know personally, we are happy people. How did we start this reading? I like your energy. I like yours. It's again, like goes to like, you're a mirror of who and what comes into each other's life. So Spirit's saying you don't see that about yourself. So you're not perceiving you from your true self. And because you have a hard time going with the flow, because the people a lot of times in your environment, they give you a hard time. Are you following me with this? So it would block abundance. It would block money. It would block, because we always have to come from our true self. And that's through. So when you're a highly sensitive person, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not just about becoming aware, but you actually have to recondition your nervous system. You have to recondition. Now I want to scroll down because I'm not seeing anything else, and I want to just make sure that you're not saying anything. Okay, only because, like I said, aggressive people don't let you go with the flow. And so when you're a highly sensitive person, one thing that I feel that you do is that you get, well, part of your survival mechanism is to be intuitive. So what happens is that you can wind up caring too much about the other person. And it's like more so than yourself, which, because there's a lot of healer energy that you have. There's a lot of like spiritual energy that you have of, I just want to help. So it's almost like higher chakras, but not enough lower chakras. So there's a disconnect from the body. And then that second chakra is, I have a hard time going with the flow. Well, there it is. And that's what I'm saying, but you're not getting enough in return. So it's like, and I know that because you're soft, your energy was soft. It's lovable, it's kind. And it's also like sad, though. There's an underlying tone of sad where it's like, I don't do anything. Like, again, the laughter, like spirit saying, the passion for life. You're here to be an expression of God, which is unconditional love, by giving and receiving of love through your free will. And spirit saying, it takes a mustard seed, I make it multiply. We're all David going up against Goliath. You're not doing your job, you're not in your body. And so there's a lack of trust, there's a lack of support, there's a lack of, and we can't go back in time. Spirit says the aggressive energy is never going to get healed by that person, that original person, because that's anxiety. That's when people are aggressive, they're nervous. There's only two energies, love and fear. Again, aggressive energy is very, like, obviously creates a lot of fear. So you have a problem with overstimulation, which makes you not trust yourself. So we have to do things like tapping, because this also is part of the root chakra, that if I don't even need to pull cards, and I don't really use cards. I mean, I use cards for YouTube, but when I'm really doing my thing, spirit speaks to me directly. So it's, again, jealousy. You have a bad way of triggering people with jealousy. See, God said he'd help me through, So it's like, yeah, because you're just doing you, and your happy energy makes shit happen, and you're always dealing with angry energy. Yeah, thank you. Because it's like, oh, I got to remember to pull cards, God's saying. He was like, yeah, on channel, pull the cards. I'm like, listen, I have a hard time doing two things at one time. That's trauma. Disconnect, disconnection, disassociation, detachment. You have that too. You don't have it as bad as me. It's like, because you were around this too much and this too much, which creates disassociation. But you're a highly sensitive person. So how can you be in your body? And so what happens is that you make mistakes, and then you got to deal with disrespect, and then the shame, where it's like, so that's really what you're clearing, which is a root chakra imbalance. So you got to like integrate it. Because I said to the guy, you want me to pull the cards? You got to help me, because I don't use cards. Although I made a deck of cards, because I made a healing system for healing the effects of trauma. Yeah, because like I'm not doing it. It's like I said, the higher self. It's never me. I have the same issues that you do, and it's like, which is more like a grounding issue, which is I get anxiety, where spirit said, well, you need to do the tapping before you get on the channel. So I did a round of tapping, but I get overstimulated. I get nervous. I have confidence issues. And so where doing, mastery comes in doing. And that's why spirit says we're all David going up against Goliath. God says, don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike. You're not like childlike. There's no laughter. Where's the passion? Where's the love? Where's this? You got to be the expression of love. God says, I'm love. That's all you are, is love. And you're here to give and receive of love, be the expression of love. That's how you get your daily bread. You get your money. And that makes you feel good about yourself, because money has no energy except for the energy that you're giving it. And you grew up in a home that there was money issues, I feel, or that there was something along that. Right. And that's why God is saying, it's like, I have you. I have you. It's again, I make a way where there is no way, just for you. He does that for all of us. It does that for all of us. So we need to say, okay, well, what's the problem? It's overstimulation, and it's because of never mastering it. And it's so you never really get to see a different outcome, because what happens is we all go in and out of consciousness. And so what happens is you get triggered by an outside situation, and then you react. And then you're like, I wasn't really grounded. It's like I reacted because my intuition and spirit saying, your issue is not that you're not highly sensitive. The issue is a lack of ground, because you didn't feel safe in your body. And understand you were around angry people. And so that is the karma, why that it's like it imprinted on you, where you're like, oh my God, it's like, who the fuck am I going to have to deal with now? like, why do I always feel like I got to battle like people? If anything, I'm a nice person, because you're like a Heoki. And Heokis are like the tricker, and they're the mirror. And so you're like, well, why the fuck am I that person? And spirit says, because you need to master it. It's you're down. That's not heaven that you're down there. Earth isn't heaven. If you think that earth is heaven, you're crazy. God says, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it, and you're not doing none of that. There's a disconnect, disassociation. That's why God brought you here. And from the higher self brought you here. You're like, it just sounds right. Let me listen to this bitch. It's like, and the spirit says, yeah, I'm guiding you. Though it's everything that you think. So it's how much time, energy, focus, and money you give something. It's how much passion, it's how much heart, it's how much love you put into something. And God's saying, you're not putting any love into anything. Where's the love? Are you going to think that you're going to give that person love? Because when we're not even going to do a reading for that, God says, fuck you. He's like, no. He was like, because that's never a good outcome. Ever, 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 ever. Because what are you telling me, God's saying? He's saying you don't love yourself enough. You don't love yourself enough. And I live inside of you as a gift of the Holy Spirit. And I refuse for that. It's again, you have to love yourself. And that's teaching. So you have to recondition some of the inherited shit. So then we look and we say, the inherited shit we already knew, right? It was like, but what can we heal? Why did you make me pick up this card? Envy. Again, dealing with like envy. It's like envy stirs within us feelings of inadequacy or shame. So like it said, you have shame. And so what happens is it comes out as, again, people are envying me. I don't even do anything. I'm at home, and they will always find the one thing that good that I have and want to squash it. And because there's a feeling of that you're not allowed to have that. And that's again, deep-seated root that comes from shame. That somebody, and that's usually passed down inherited karma. Remember in the Bible, it said 700 generations you're going to inherit. And you're like, what the fuck? 700 generations? It's like, I didn't even know these people. And God says, that's what it says in the Bible. And you've all come to a place within humanity that it's time to heal, to break those generational curses, because they're affecting your money. They're affecting the way that they're affecting your spiritual sovereignty, where it's a co-creation process. So you're never going to know step by step by step. Only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut intuition, inner knowing. And spirit says, I guided you in childhood. That's why you have a higher self. That's why it is as strong as it is. But the body, there's a lack of body. Feelings are like cake. Like, why would I pull that for you? Feelings are like cake. I've never pulled that card before. Now, mind you, I mean, we don't always go deep into the spiritual, but the strongest emotions are usually layered. Take anger, for example. On the surface, we may have initial feelings of rage or shock, but beneath that are surely more layers like betrayal and embarrassment. The strongest emotions can even mask tender feelings like deep loneliness, which you pulled, and then fear, guilt, shame. What emotions are buried deep inside of you? So, I like, Emmy, I'm not a salesperson, but I have a shadow healing coaching program for $5 a month. I think that you should consider joining it because in that coaching program we do readings, but we do shadow work where you need to integrate the spiritual lesson, which means that you need to do reframing exercises. You need to do things to understand what exactly happened, how did I handle it, and what do I need to do to heal it, the integration process. Because shadow healing is integration. It's all about what's blocking me. And so you may be like, well, why the fuck do I have it so hard? And Spirit says, again, we told you you're a healer. So you have to start this way. So stop, like, again, it's like there's no mistake. Do you see what's happening in the world? Do you see the anxiety that people have? Do you see, like, I mean, you grew up simpler, so understand, you know, you're like, this is like, I'm okay because I'm kind of used to it, though you shouldn't be. So the higher energies help you, but then the lower energies need to be incorporated. And we wouldn't do this shit. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Would I do tapping? I'm not gonna lie. It's like as highly sensitive people have a better way of showing up for other people in the beginning than they do for themselves. They're the unhealed wound. They're the unhealed healers until they're you see the results. Kind of we're like kind of like OCD that way, and wait ADHD, which is like, well, I want to see the results first. Like, what's in it for me? So Spirit's like, you got to figure out a way that you're going to do it. And in that program, we do inner child work, we do shadow work, we do reparenting, which is how you would do it in the integration, and then the actual healing modalities to recondition the nervous system because that's your issue. It's like I have shame and I keep replaying shame because there's a sense that I don't really trust myself. And Spirit saying it's like because of this, because of what you grew up in. So it's again, you have to learn how to master that to really become. And and then you learn firsthand and you're already empathetic. So you then already know what a person feels like. Otherwise, you have all this wounds that you're gonna be like, I try, but I never really feel. I think it's gonna go to a commercial soon. Right. And that's the thing. And sometimes we get lost, we forget, and we all have an unrealistic expectation of how fast the process is. That's why even one of these readings goes for over an hour. Just so you think, like, are you gonna actually do reading? A lot of talking for awareness because after you leave me, you have to go into the world and apply these practices, and 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 that's really what it is. It's just new awarenesses, and doing things that are going to help you be consistent really allows you to do that. And I know, like, I'm not someone that's consistent in a lot of things, trust me. It's like I'm getting better, but as far as the connection to the body, I belong to two gyms and I haven't been there in 3 weeks, either one of them. It's like I hate the body. I'm not gonna lie. So Spirit's like, you gotta get back into the butt, because you have to integrate what needs to become the whole self. And until then, you will attract people that are going to help you evolve. And if you're a sensitive person, you know this on a higher self level because you're intuitive, and you're going to get anxiety. And then, who can perform? No one can perform when they're that. way. And then it's like, oh, I don't really like the way that I look. And it's like, why is it so difficult? And then spirit says, because emotions are like cake. So you think that you did all the healing, but you didn't. So now, do you want to know about a connection, or what do you want to know about, so I can direct the reading the best way? Because it's like I told you the healing part of what you would need to do. Now I want to see, like, are you in a connection right now? I'm not really feeling that, to be honest with you. I feel like you have people that you're interested in. Are you there? They say only because, like, it depends on the type of reading. Did I leave you? Did you leave me? I wanted to ask you. Because I see. Okay, well, I'm just going to pull then as if you are in a connection. I'm not sure. And we could see actually what it had actually transpired. Oh, you're back. Okay. I see that you fell off, and I wanted you to be able to ask me whatever question you want. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said, are you in a relationship? And then I said, nah, I don't really feel like you are. And that's, again, why I said it's not really good. So what do you want to know? How he feels? You want to know the hidden truths? Well, let's just see what's going on. How about that? I feel like I'm not good enough for you. So I feel like, I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like you were dealing with a person that was lazy. I feel like you were dealing with a person that had a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions for you in the beginning, because again, it's attraction. And it's it was a soul connection. But you wanted more from this connection, and this person, I don't know how to say this without, don't take this the wrong way, but women tend to give men too much right away. And in actuality, whenever anybody, whether it's a male or female, if someone really likes someone, they put them first. And so, well, this is the thing. He had that, and it came out within the connection because it overstimulated him. Because it's like, look at the world. It's like, I do like you, and we have a connection, but you're like making plans. You're making plans. You're like, you look like you have your shit together because you know how to do that. So do I. I check on you from afar. So this person still has a connection to you, but don't think that, well, they're not showing me anything. Of course they're not, because this person is a highly sensitive person, but never mastered emotional intelligence. So understand, this person also has the same wounds that you do. Remember, you get a person that brings out what needs to be healed, but they usually have the same things. There was someone interfering in our relationship. And what I felt too was this person needed a lot of attention. They need a lot of attention because, again, they don't feel good about themselves. And so I feel like your person got a little confused. And then the more that you talked about plans, and the more that you were over there. And so you didn't have other passion. You need to have another passion, and it can't be a person. It has to be a passion for life, because people get bored. It's like, imagine, what's your favorite food? Imagine it. Let's just say it's chocolate ice cream. And imagine having that chocolate ice cream available to you all the time. After a while, you're like, it's just chocolate ice cream. And that's what started to happen. And you didn't really notice that because you were up close and you didn't get what you needed in childhood. So this person, so again, feeling isolated, feeling lonely, feeling abandoned, which come with shame. It's like that's an inherited thing because obviously you didn't do anything. So why do you have to feel shame? And that's because it's inherited 700 generations worth. So then it played out in other areas. And in this, in your relationship, you drew to someone to you that does have feelings, but they're not emotionally intelligent if they can't have a conversation and they have to stalk, and that's so they weren't able to communicate to you what what they needed. And so that's a problem because then you're intuitively trying to navigate the relationship. So are you even focused on yourself at all? No, because you are too busy intuitively making sure that this person's okay. And then that person felt like that. And then just, it's like because the relationship, one sided relationship. And that's like you didn't recognize that and that's because you're like, well, I never really got it. So it wasn't that the person didn't have feelings. The person, of course, has feelings. Again, everybody loves differently. God says, only I love perfectly. You're not me, that person's not. And so that person, you saw their wounds. They didn't express themselves. They needed to like turn around and say, hey, listen, can you like go home, or can we have like some time apart, or I'm going to go hang out with my friends. You needed to make your life look more like a pizza pie where there's 8 slices of pizza in that pie. And God was saying, look at this. Em's given 6 of those slices to this guy over here. And not one slice is going to me through you, obviously, because it's all about creating yourself, because that's how you have a relationship with God. And God's like, look at this. He was like, I'm a jealous God. And like, all I know is that M's giving a whole lot of fucking pizza over here, and I'm not getting anything over here. So abandonment. It's like that cycle. You're going to learn that you're not separate from me. And you also didn't realize because, hey, you never really got it. So the support. So Spirit says that you have a distorted perception of support because it was never really there. And so you do way too much. And you're highly sensitive. So you feel and then you give. And then what happens is it's like a child that gets everything that they want. They become spoiled and then they don't recognize it. Yes. But what will really help, and I'm telling you, even for myself, is yoga, breath work to recondition the nervous system, because only in the now do you get divine guidance. So if someone does something, you're already highly sensitive, and Spirit said, why didn't that work? I want to know why that didn't work. And the Spirit says, because she was like this. Like you couldn't see anything. And so we naturally want to, because we're naturally givers and naturally want to, but Spirit's saying you have to place other passions. So if you were to be a healer, you'd have to take classes, and you could take classes on Udemy. Doesn't need to be expensive. You start where you are. This is a root chakra imbalance that you have going on. And God says, that needs to be healed. Then the relationship gets fixed. So, of course, this person assumes that you're going to be sad, assumes that. So then I don't really need to figure it out. That's not good. It's like, fuck you. It was already a one-sided relationship. And it's like when that's the ego rises up and then justifies, and then you would be hurt. You need to put the energy into yourself. The Spirit's saying, you know how it feels like there's a hole there now? There feels like there's a hole there because of how much you gave to that person. And so that can't happen if you fill your cup all the way up to the brim until it overflows. And then they only get what overflows that comes out of the cup. So they always kind of want more because their ego is like, well, what the fuck? She's got tango dancing tonight, and then she's got Monopoly on Friday, and then book club, and then like, and I saw her walking out of tango with Juan on the side of her arm. Meanwhile, Juan's gay. He doesn't care about you. he's dating somebody else, but you were having a good old time. And God says, you have to help me train these people. Your job is to bring them to me through your character, through unconditional love, of course, through never being mean. So all those little talks that you thought were helping, they don't, because this person knew what they were doing. And so that's what was so right. And that's what Spirit's saying. Spirit said, that's what God said. He goes, I was getting jealous. There were only 8 slices, and 6 went to this person, and the other 2 went to like maybe some friends and a little bit of to yourself, but not really. And what the fuck? And the Spirit saying, like, what is this person going to do it for you? Because after a while, they're not going to be able to do it for you. And you would feel empty, and it would be like a nagging thing, because you'd be like, well, I give you so much. You need to do this for me. And Spirit's saying, no, that person is supposed to come into your life and help enhance your life, but not be your life. It's like you have to make a person earn it. Otherwise, it gets disposed of. And so, really, that's what you're healing. You're like, I have shame. I don't really feel good about myself because of those wounds. And Spirit says, well, we're telling you how to heal it. So that can never happen again. You invest more in yourself. It's okay. It's not that, oh, now I'm going to stop dating. Spirit says, and if you don't go out and invest in yourself, you're never going to meet anybody. And so if you never meet anybody, how is that third eye going to open up? How is this going to open up? God says, you are me in physical form. Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Because you're not grounded. You're not in your body. Your mind can only be in one place at a time. So you need to cut your energy from him. Cut it off. And it's because there is a psychic connection. And so again, you can't be that involved with somebody and not think, okay? It's how much time. So you put it towards a class. You create yourself. God says, I need to see you give yourself love and not go to the spa. I mean, you can go to the spa and you can get a massage and those are fine. But I'm talking about change yourself, meaning take a class, invest in yourself, learn yourself. It's again, join the networking group. Hey, you're not a good speaker and I'm asking you to go on YouTube, or I'm asking you to go on Instagram, or I'm asking you to go here, is go to Toastmasters. Become it, because Spirit says, I'll make a way where there is no way, number one. And number two, you will attract a better type of person, and you will have a richer life where you're training a person, and not through talking. I'm not around. I have other things. And because otherwise then people treat you like a shoe. And that's when really you're like, I just want to be liked. I just want to treat people the way I want to be treated. And Spirit says, and that's why you're one of my angels. But it's again, you got to get something for it in return. You can't just give it and without anything in return. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's like jealous and possessive. So it's like, again, that person down deep inside, they have an insecure energy. So the more that you would do it, this person would be jealous and possessive because they felt like you were getting jealous and possessive when really you're a mirror of who and what, but this person wasn't giving you enough. So, I mean, they were breadcrumbing you and then gaslighting you towards the end. And that's why I'm saying, because they didn't know how to be able to express themselves. They felt bad to do it. So because there was a connection, and when you have a soulmate and a person that you've spent a lot of time with and you have not mastered your sensitivity and you don't have good self-esteem, you're going to continue to give that person, because that's how they trained you to give them. But then they're like, okay, well, now I've had enough, so I'm going to kind of toss you aside. And that is the energy. But to understand, if you would actually feed yourself, it would diminish this person's ego and they would become jealous and possessive because they have a wound. That's why they did what they did. Hey, I like you. I like to keep you stuck so you can't move anywhere. I like to have my cake and eat it too. But I don't want you to really go anywhere. I don't really want, no, no, no. You're going to be like, I'm going to be invested in myself. And that means take classes and hobbies. And I'm going to meet a lot of different people. And you're going to see me rubbing elbows with a lot of other people. And in that, I'm never going to give anyone as much as I gave you until the ring is on my finger, or until like whatever your end goal is that makes you feel good to do it. And then we look at the hidden truths, because even though this person did this, I want to see, like I said, is that really the person? Like, I know that you've invested a lot in yourself, and we will look and see what manifests from that as well. I love you. So I think that there is unconditional love between you and this person. However, I think that things tend to get like they get jaded over time, because like I said, the timing just wasn't right for us. And that's because they were on there. They would be like, I would really want to make sure. I feel like you're young. I mean, I feel like you both are young. Maybe not young enough to like get married, but this person feels young, almost like immature young. And maybe that's what it is. I want you. So it's, again, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if this person eventually calls you back. But the thing is, you don't want to downgrade yourself, because it's not like, meaning like this person is going to miss you. Well, and when that's the thing, when you invest a lot in a person, this person thinks that they're just going to go out and meet somebody else, that or they get attracted to someone else, to somebody was interfering in your connection. Well, then they're going to see that they're not the same person as you, as they're not going to give as much, they're not going to invest enough. And then if you invest all that time and effort and energy in yourself, that is why this person is eventually going to come back, because that's what it shows here. It shows that the person is going to try and come back. My issue is not that this isn't a soul connection, but being that it is, I have to use different cards. It's the fact of how you train this person. It's karmic. It's like, and the thing is, so because they do have feelings for you, I just feel like they got overwhelmed. You gave them so much, and there was a little bit of pressure with that. Now, I don't know if you said something to this person. I'm not sure. We're going to look. But it's almost like the energy there is what I'm feeling is like, hey, I like you and I would like to have this relationship, but you can't go backwards once you've been dating someone for a while. You know what I mean? It's like you started the relationship off in a certain way. I long to sweep you off your feet. Like I said, I feel like this person, I'm going through a physical, emotional ascension symptoms. I need space to rest. But from a higher perspective, I'm releasing old energy. So I don't think that this person knows that that's what they're going through. But I feel like, again, they're feeling as if, like I said, that they're going crazy. And I say that because it's like, the second it's like, I don't want this, and then I do want this, and I do care, but maybe I might want something else. And if it's somebody, I was talking to somebody else, then, or someone else was giving me attention, then maybe do I like this person? And also, like, I can't really think, because you and this person do have like a soul connection. So up close, they know that they would be feeling what you wanted. And then there was a sense of a little bit of boredom. And I have to be honest with you, but that's not because the person didn't have feelings for you and didn't love you, because they still do. But it's like that chocolate ice cream. I love chocolate ice cream, but it was like I could just use like whatever. And that's why I'm saying immature. I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner. I swear to God. It's like this person, like this, it's like all over this reading. Literally 2 different decks of cards, okay? Like Literally, it's like your dude has like a self-esteem issue, and that's the worst. It's the fucking worst because it's like they bleed all over you. We project our patterns onto each other, and this makes it difficult to see what is real and what is fear based thinking. So, again, the soulmate relationship, it's like it's triggering for this person. So, like, that's what I felt before before I pulled the cards. It's like the wounds, your wounds, like, of I need to be nurtured, I need that. And this person is like detached, dissociated, and needs space. So what happens is like there was like a sense of, instead of this person being able to communicate like an adult, they do different things to create separation. And then, like I said, I feel like over time those things weren't really working. And I love, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like when I let myself go deeper into thoughts of you, I can feel my heart opening, and that's it scares him. It scares the crap out of him because again he's dissociated, detached because of that, and that's really what soul relationships are supposed to do. So there's a lot of confusion because it's like I love you, but there's all this, and I keep like, do I really want this? It's like get out of your fucking way. It's like this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with someone that deals with shame, and they do so because they keep getting literally in their own way. It's called a psychological reversal. That's what it's called in psychology land. It's like this person wants to be with someone but sabotages themselves, or if they want an opportunity they get in their own way, and that's an overstimulation thing too. So that's what it is. It's like this person is going through that. And then it's like being mirrors for each other makes self love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but I want you to love and nurture yourself. So it's like, but that's what I'm saying, which you could have shapeshift this. Like, and but you'd had to most likely have shapeshifted it beforehand, because what comes with immature comes big ego and pride and all that. So we are going to look and see what this person's going to do because I'm curious. But you know, um, that's what it says, and that's why he's like, you want to go deeper into a relationship, and I am like, I'm too afraid. It's like I can't make my life work. And so, the more that you come close because you were abandoned, the more that this person is detached already and gets terrified of it. And then when he thinks of you, his heart opens up more. But understand, soul relationships are come into the life strictly for healing, whether you're going to be together with this person or not. That's why we call it like a past life karmic mate. You didn't learn those um, life lessons in a past life. But that soul recognition, when you first met this person, there's so much passion. Well, you wouldn't stick around long enough to do your healing if it wasn't. But it's overstimulating for you and this person. For this person, they self sabotage. For you, you get more needy. And so understand you're reliving the same experiences that give you shame, which is what, again, you're a mirror for each other. And so that's what, whether you're going to be with this person today or not be with this person, you have to heal that, because that will continue to sabotage your relationships. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, this person self sabotages themselves, but they would need to do a total different healing protocol. For you, it's about you making sure that you were not giving so much to this person. You lost yourself. You gave too much. You didn't train this person. It was like you were the chocolate ice cream that was always available. So really good to have and nice, but every night, now and again, I'd like a piece of cake. I'd like something else, and not because I don't love you, but because I don't know. It's like Am I supposed to? It's like I'm attracted to somebody else now. Somebody was talking to me and giving me attention and was in a bad mood last night. You know what I mean? It's like get out of your head. It's stupid. It's like get out of your head. And so we still want to look and see because we're curious and we're nosy and we're like, well, what is this person going to do anyway? Regardless, hope they're going to grow. Like, ask me what I want. It's like, okay, strength, invisible force. So I feel like this person knows is having problems. I said because already they're like, did I make the right decision on leaving? It's like they don't really know what they want. It's like they do have feelings. They just didn't want to do everything that you wanted to do and they overdid it. See, when we have a second chakra imbalance, it's because we don't feel good about ourselves. So we overcompensate or undercompensate, give too much or give too little. So in the relationship, we learned you gave too much, he gave too little. The more that you were like, I want more, the more that he backed away. So really, the answer for you is to not to want as much, but also not neglect yourself. And you're like, well, I don't know what that balance is. And Spirit says exactly, because you're not balanced yourself. It's like you don't have a passion. You don't have, where's the other passion? Yes, you're both growing because that's what these relationships do when you separate. The fool, but it's reversed. Only fools rush in. So this person is like, I don't really know what to do. And they may come back. And that's what I said before. And I said, you better be careful because this person is still wounded. They're going to come back because there's feelings there. And they know how much you gave. They're not going to get any of that from anybody else. But you don't want to be that person that is just always available because it's like, yeah, we have a soul connection. And I know you really love me and I love you, but you just need to go off on your own once in a while. Fuck that. No. It's like that can be stopped. It's like you say, now how can it stop? You have passion with this person for a reason. It's hot for a reason. And Spirit says your job is to bring them to me. And that's through your character. And you give way too much to this person. It's like hobbies, interests, friends, growing yourself, losing yourself, having a love affair with yourself is what makes a person surrender their ego because you're like, I don't need you. And because I do so much for myself, I meet all these different people that give to me. That's why. 6 of coins, giving and receiving. So again, then you can teach this person because that's really what it's about. This person doesn't know how to do it. Because understand growing up, and this is what I'm going to go back to channel again. Growing up, this person was always yelled at. And that's what I'm telling you. Oh, okay. Well, I'm telling you, like, this person's eventually going to come back. Like, it's then. But that's for how to deal with the relationship. You still need to do your shadow healing. But it's 6 of cups is giving and receiving. So it's all about you giving to yourself because that love is still there. It's not like it's not. It's just, like I said, if how can I explain it? It's like, imagine getting offered to go to Europe for a year when there was no war or anything. It was just like, you get to go to Europe for a year and live in Rome for a year, and you get to do the most amazing job that you wanted to and get paid the most amazing amount of money. Okay, but you'd have to leave your boyfriend for a year. Like, and most likely when you got back, you would not be the same person. You would not want to be with this person, or this person wouldn't want to be with you. And so it's like comes down to a choice. This person feels like it's a choice when really it doesn't really need to be a choice. What it is if there was love there. So by you giving to yourself, it makes this person realize you have other options. You're not always available. And then they really have to look at their relationship. And it's better to do it when you first start a relationship. And I say that too because the person might come back, and if they come back, they're going to try and do the same thing that they've always done. And now you have to train them differently. And you train them again by being like, well, I'm not available. So when I am available, I'm expecting you to like give. I'm expecting you to do. And that's the problem. It's like, and this person was like, but when I was with you, I never had to do before. So you're going to get resistance because look, justice reversed. So it's like, that's what I was saying. It's like, it's not a good thing if this person comes back because it's almost like they don't, it's almost like guilt and blame. It's like this person wouldn't actually take full responsibility because they don't want to change. And because what it really is that because if a person comes rushing in, there's an invisible force first, which is I want to hold back. It's like I don't want to give because I don't want to cave. I don't want to like have to be subservient to you. And then I rush in, but I don't have a plan. It's not grounded. It's based on passion. It's based because I do have feelings. And I'm going to make it like it's giving and receiving. So you would feel like you were going to get, but it would be justice reversed. And that's what I was trying to say before you said, well, if I come back, and that's why I said it's not a good thing because this person is like, I don't know if we could really be together. He can be with you. It requires stepping it up. And that's what I'm saying. And so you can be like, if you don't heal yourself, of course you would want to be with this person. That's why it becomes toxic because it's like, I have to settle. And spirit says, you don't, you're being karmically challenged. And that's because of the healing that you need to do for yourself, which again happened in childhood. So it has nothing to do with this person. The karmic contracts. So you say again, what can I do? The only way that you would be able to do this too is still, regardless, the answer is still to invest in yourself because you're cutting off the energy. This person would peer in and try and come back, but is it coming back the right way? And what we saw was no. And that is why I don't like that. And then 7 of Cups. Many possibilities. And that's the reason why. It's like, I don't really know. And the thing is, because this person is not grounded. So they're living from their lower self, which is, what I see is what I know is what I believe. And I'm living from what I desire and not the divinity part of the self. Divinity part of self is the God part of self, which is I have respect for other people. I'm all about love. I care about myself, but I care about other people. I don't just go into a relationship thinking it's all about me. And that's why God said, your job is to bring them to me because that ego is, and that's why he's fearful because that's not his true self. Those are masks because whenever we have shadows, which happen from inner child wounds and spiritual blocks, we then live more from the persona of who we are and not from our true self. And that's why this person would still try to do things not in the right way. It has nothing to do with you, but it will activate every single wound you have, making you feel like, what did I do? And when you didn't do anything, what you're doing is that you're allowing it. You're saying, this is my only choice. When Spirit's saying, that's not your only choice. You're like, but I wanted that one. And Spirit says, you don't get to choose. It's like that person is a soul connection. There is unconditional love there. But after a while, it becomes toxic too if things are not healed. And then you're busy spending most of the time trying to talk it out. And they don't listen. It's not about talking. It's about action. Because they know exactly what they do. And it's unfortunate, but that's why you wound up having that situation. And that's why it's not that the person doesn't love, but it's again, they're wounded. And so you don't want this person bleeding all over you. You want you do the healing work on yourself so that you can attract exactly what you want. And then this way that motherfucker has to eat the karma. Hey, you didn't want to step it up. Hey, you were replaced because the universe like brought me someone that was more in alignment and you didn't want to do it. And that's your karma. If you don't do it, then you feel like you eat the karma because then you're going to sit there and be like, well, he's over there talking to like Mary Jane. Yeah, Mary Jane is like, is homeless and doesn't have teeth. And, like, come on. And doesn't have anything, that you have. But they just ran out to try and camouflage it. So you're going to sit there and because that's what a person on a lower energy does. It's like because I don't really know what I want. And that's why I'm saying it's until the person wants to do healing. And what we saw here is that they clearly don't want to do healing. And that's the issue. Even though there's passion here, there's love here, expand your concept of what a twin flame is. It's more than romance. It's a deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. And that's what I told you. And that's what spirit just channeled. Is that this is not, sometimes these people come in to heal, to bring us more than that. And that's why you have to say, well, how am I going to deal with the pain? Because I gave so much. And spirit says it's what you're doing, and get more involved, and then you'll connect to other people. Like it's to invest more in yourself because your mind can't be in two places at one time. And it's to cut that psychic connection because soulmate from past life, hey, they recognize. And that's because that energy transcends time and space. We wouldn't stick around long enough to learn. We wouldn't want to learn. Now, can you meet somebody else? Will you meet somebody else? Because who cares about this? If this person isn't going to do it, it's like, oh, or they're going to do it half-assed. You'll be happy that they come back half-assed, but just for satisfaction. But let's face it, it's like I want to meet somebody else with a higher vibration. That should be where you're at. It's like I'm doing work. I don't really need to stay bound to my childhood wounds. I don't need to do that because that's exactly what's happening here. I don't know if you saw that within your reading. I mean, it's the same, it's mirroring the same feelings, the same emotions, the same King of Swords, reversed, authoritarian. I like the King of Swords in actuality. That kind of flung out, but wound up on a wanky Nine of Cups. So, you know what? It's like you are going to meet somebody, but the next person that I feel like you meet, because I don't feel that it's this person. I'm sorry. It's like, or if it's this person, the best that you're going to get is a person that comes back and acts like they're totally in charge, like an authoritarian, but there is emotional fulfillment, but it's wanky. It was sideways. How it fell out. So it's again, there's still a little bit of that residue of that energy of emotionally, can I get what I want? Six of Cups, remembering the past. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if this person comes back because I'm like Six of Cups, remembering the past, authoritarian, I'm going to fix it. And then coming back with a wanky, Nine of Cups, meaning I'm going to promise it, but I'm going to do it my way, and God knows what that's going to look like. But right now it is in an Ace of Cups. So this person sees the potential. Wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, on, off, on, off, on, off. However, they wouldn't be coming back the right way. So you have to still train them. Because you don't want this to turn into something that's long, drawn out, and and not feeding you. You understand what I'm saying? Did you resonate? You there? Did you resonate? Because I do feel like I said, there's a lot of energy. I've hurt you, and I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday and understand I was reacting in fear. Literally, no shit. So, I mean, I think that this person is if you don't let them back into your life, that they would, that they would think about it and like again and regret it. My fear is that this person is going to come back in and try and give you like nothing. And I don't want to see that. One last one. Expand your concept, literally. Expand your concept of a twin flame relationship. Listen, like spirit keeps saying, you got this because you're evolving. You got this because of that. This is not 100% like it's to heal in order to embody love and light. Like this person triggered everything to make you look at it. I'm glad. It's like your condition is to do would be wait, okay, my condition to try again would be he has to do shadow work. I think that your best bet is if you were going to be try to do a relationship with this person, it would be to do something together, to do shadow work together. Because when you do shadow work together, you understand, because this person's not going to say, well, today we learned that my wound was this and this, and I got reacted because Emma does, please forgive me, soulmate. I'm afraid of commitment. Literally, I'm just pretending to be someone I'm not. The same thing. But like it's almost like well, where was I going with this? It's like, so like let's just say he says, I was afraid, like I was afraid to, like I was being someone I wasn't. So like I was trying to become someone that I wasn't. I wanted you to perceive that I was someone that I wasn't, because I wanted you to, accept me. He's not going to feel confident enough again when in the beginning stages of shadow work to admit that. So it's to understand. A lot of times I do readings for couples, to be honest with you, and that because it's to understand, like, why is this person in my life? It's like I know that this person's supposed to be in my life, but why do I trigger it? Figure out, because it has a person and it has nothing to do with you. Like this trigger of him being like, oh my God, like commitment, like that has nothing to do with you. However, if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, you're talking to some other woman, or you're like getting attention from other people and you're like ignoring me, of course you're going to take it personally. But understand, Spirit says part of that is because that person's immature, and part of that is that you didn't give enough energy to yourself. So you wouldn't know what to do to actually integrate it. You wouldn't be able to help each other. And that's the thing. It's like shadow work, once they become like to go and to do it like at a therapist, or like even it's, you can do a workbook. It's not like you can't do workbook, but would that explain why this person overreacts to certain things or underreacts to certain things? Is that the appropriate place to start? That's what I'm trying to talk about. It's like, it's not, yeah, that's the only reason why, because of the triggers. Obviously, it's like you're going to show up and you're like, I wanted to rip this motherfucker's head off because time. I felt you had more time for other people than me. You have become too busy for this connection. So that makes me feel abandoned. So it's like, then that person might turn around and we would then turn around and say, well, what was the issue? X factor. I feel that there is still an emotional connection between you and your ex. So I kind of backed off, let's just say, that would be, or like, you treated your ex better than me. So that tells you again something to dig deep, so that what happens is when you get triggered, you also, from doing the shadow work, you say, there's a reason why I'm being triggered. And this person knows too. It's not so much that you don't know, because you already know, but you're like, okay, this person is like thinking that I'm doing something, and that this isn't normal, because they have an unrealistic expectation of what a relationship is. That is always rosy, when really this is what a relationship is. It's like those soulmate relationships that are deep, that are that they teach unconditional love, that we can't break it, that no time, no nothing breaks it. It transcends time and space. And for the reason, because there's parts of us that have detached, didn't feel loved, didn't feel good enough. Don't and we Because our family didn't make us feel that way, or our environment didn't make us feel that way, or we were just born to feel different, and not, and just for that reason. However, God says, you don't know what it feels like. Let me show you what it feels like. That's the problem. So you're in physical form to learn and to manifest. That's the only reason why you're in physical form. So you need to understand. Let me bring this person to you. Okay. You're like, this motherfucker pisses me off. This person's an asshole. It's like, and you tell your friends everything, and then 2 days later you're like, do you think he's gonna call me? And your friend's like, didn't you just say that that person was an asshole, that they did X, Y, and Z? And then you're like, well, he really was working hard, and I did this and that. Then what happens is we ain't that mad anymore. And then as more time goes by, it's like, is that person gonna call? It's like, I don't even fucking care what they did. It's like, and that is what teaches you unconditional love. That, or when a person's like, I don't have confidence, I don't believe that I'm good enough, I don't think I could be good enough for this relationship, because they're looking at all the things that they have to do to fix the relationship, and they're like, and to be actually proactive, and they're like, I don't know if I want to do that, I don't know, I could do without love, I don't really love love. And God's like, oh yeah, you motherfucker, you think you can live without love? I am love. I live inside of you. You can't live without love, bitch. You're going to see exactly what that feels like. That's why. Because then they're like, I don't care. Like, she wouldn't give in. She was being unreasonable. Oh, what was she asking for? She was asking for some time. Like, any person you're like, shit, you sounds like you a little bit like unrealistic. It's like, well, I excuse until those excuses are like the same as how you were like, well, he wasn't really that bad to your friend, is the same way that you're like, well, you know, like the same way that he's like, well, maybe I could do that. Maybe I can give into that. And then all of a sudden they see you moving on, then it's like they ain't looking at all their flaws. They're like, oh, how dare her go with somebody else? Like, I'm better than that person. Then all of a sudden they get their Superman pants on. And that's why I'm saying, it's like, that's how it, and God says, yeah, I train. I'm the person that trains this person. See, you are not in control. You're not in control. The reason why is because there's wounds. You're down there to learn. You're down there to learn and to manifest. You're learning you're not separate from me. Why? Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge. I said you didn't really need to learn what pain and suffering was. But the devil tricked you. The devil said, well, God doesn't want you to be as smart as him. And so, God says, well, I love you so much anyway, even though you betrayed me, and I'm nobody's dummy. So I'm going to give you the gift of Holy Spirit, because I'm a good guy. So I'm going to, like, good guy, girl. I'm a guy and girl. So I'm good energy. So I'm going to, give you the gift of spirit, but you're going to learn. You're going to learn one way or the other, what, because you want to be me, what it feels like for unconditional love. And you need to know the level of what unconditional love is. And Spirit says that's the depiction of Christ on the cross. It's like sacrifice. It's like, then that's really what it is. And Spirit says unconditional love is that. It's like, it's perseverance, it's joy, it's passion, it's excitement. But God says, me first, I'm a jealous God. That's through your passion for life. And God says, where is it? I don't see it. This person got more. And that's why it triggered this person's detachment, disassociation. It's, again, their anxiety about the relationship, and am I good enough? And do I have enough? It's a lack. It's a root chakra imbalance, where you have a root chakra imbalance too, where Spirit's like, where's the creation? Where's your connection to me? It's like, where's that, your connection to your body? So the same and the same shame, and how it plays out. But eventually, this person I do feel like is going to evolve back around. But that doesn't mean that they're healed. It means that you would need to step into the best version of yourself, and that's through joining things and really sticking to it, like maybe growing a business or to having a little side hustle, networking, and really grounding and giving this person only so much. And understand they're not going to like that because they don't like boundaries. So they're going to resist and they're going to get mad. But again, they'll come back because again, that's what these type of relationships are. It's the person's learning. It's like, I can't really control it. It's like, I really like, in the same way that you would be like, you're not being fair. You're not being this. You're not being that. And where Spirit's saying, you need to learn how to master your emotions. This person needs to learn how to master their passion. That's every woman. That's every man. You need to, again, learn how to articulate what you need and not feel bad about it and then cut your energy off. And this person needs to surrender their ego because it's all about that they got everything their way. And you were like, and I was happy to do that in the beginning. And Spirit says, no, that goes against my law, me first. That's through you first. Again, that's how me and you have a relationship. You get to see me work through you. You get to see me work through your environment. That's how you see the support because you can't go back in time. Those people aren't going to support you. How are you going to integrate that spiritual lesson? Then you can go with the flow of life. You can be your passion for life. You can birth ideas. And again, you're not giving this person too much. You're again going with the flow of the relationship. Oh, intuitively, I feel like he needs time. I'm going to take time. Or intuitively, I feel like I need to give this time, but I haven't given it time. This also, again, makes it exciting. And curiosity adds a little mystery. Those are elements that need to be happened that we're missing and lacking from the relationship. And then, because again, you are very emotional and sensitive and right brain. This person is very logical, linear, and left brain. So understand Spirit says, and neither one are accurate. You both need to be right in the middle because I'm both. I'm a girl and a boy. So it's not just about you having feminine qualities of intuition and all this. You need to integrate more masculine, and this person needs to integrate more feminine energy because it's off and creating the imbalance. And that's why you're so sensitive, and that's why this person is the way that they are. And that's why Spirit's saying, but in the end of the day, it doesn't matter because what you learn is there's a bigger purpose for this connection. And that if you learn to look at it from that point of view, because you don't want to be like either too, when is this person going to come back? Because these relationships take years. I've been in a soulmate twin flame relationship for years. It's like back and forth because there's a runner and a chaser, and then all of a sudden the chaser becomes the runner, and then the runner becomes the chaser. Because it's like everyone's trying to get it their way. Is because on some level I wasn't taking care of me. Got to make sure that things are in Spirit's like, no. It's like time out, time out, time out. That's like two kids. Time out, time out, time out. When meanwhile the whole time we're like, no. And the Spirit's like, yeah, because you're not doing it right. And it's like, now how do you feel? And it's like, well, both parties feel like shit. It's like God says, good. That's what it feels like, unconditional love. And yeah, and then it's like, well, fuck this. Who said, did I sign up for this shit? And I said, you actually did. You were, you just didn't, when you signed up for it, you had no emotion for it. You didn't know what you were signing up for. But yes, you did sign up to come down here on the physical plane and to play this out with this person. Because you're like, why would I ask for this shit? The Spirit says, because again, of that, but it's all there for really, so you learn that you're not separate from me, which is this unconditional love, and that you can manifest whatever you want, that you have my powers, but you need to be more in alignment. And this person is creating that. And that's why there is this unconditional love. And that's why there is so much power in the connection. And it's funny when you did watching these people that have such big egos and they don't want to surrender their ego and they do everything to try and not surrender their ego. Like, well, I haven't talked to you in a while, so they stalk, or they drive past your house, or they make excuses to come back into your life because again, they still haven't healed. So they still don't really know how to communicate. So you might be like, why is this so hard? And it's like, because it's a block. It's self-sabotage. That person's overthinking. And that's how we know we have a block, right? Too much thinking, too much emotion creates overstimulation. So again, you have unconditional love for this person, but Spirit says, do you have the patience? And Spirit says, not really, because your triggers are there. And Spirit says, well, it's going to require patience. That's one of my traits. God says, I'm divine and I'm patient. So it's like a lot easier said than done. Now, did you have any other questions or anything before we close out? Anything? I don't know. I don't know if you went away from your computer, but if you have any other questions, if not, I am going to close out by just pulling the Healing Energy Oracle, which is what energy should you incorporate if this person comes back? What can balance out this connection even more? So we ask, we pull randomly, serenity. So understand, like, serenity, when we're at peace, that's the emotion of unconditional love. So through love, release, and inner work. Again, shadow work. You're being called to do shadow work. I know peace. Again, you also know unconditional love. I have a gentle view of life and welcome every step with confidence. I remain brave in the face of fear and have the wisdom to let the universe do its work, which is the universe is God. God's ubiquitous. It's the energy of the universe, which is unconditional love. We have that energy inside of us. Spirit saying, it's all going to be there. Right. Ascension, well, that's what you're on. I don't believe in the new age. I believe in honoring the divinity part of self, the God part of self, because it's those traits. It's like one day heaven will be on earth through the character of man. It's through embodying those traits of unconditional love that we are, that we embody that. I don't really know about the new age because the new age kind of honors yourself, which is actually Satanism. It's like, I honor myself, like I'm the divine. And let me tell you something, I am not the divine. It's like, you want to look at what my life used to look like, it was a fucking mess. My father had cancer 8 times. My mother tried to kill me several times. They said I'd never make it out of high school. Now I have a world business. I'm married. I live on the beach. I have a great life. I have a TV show like that I put a lot of time into. This is just something that I do on the side and to help people. That's why I do it for $5 a month. The shadow work healing, because I want people to heal the effects of trauma, because I changed my life. I changed my life. And it was, again, because of the divinity, because God said, I made a way where there was no way, just for you. So I don't believe in that new age stuff, because it's like, I don't believe that me alone could do anything. It's like, and really, like I said, there's a bigger purpose to why I'm here. And if you're ascension, where are you ascending to for the new age? Into these higher feelings. Well, where are they? Is that, and what is it for? Is it just for yourself? Because things that are just for yourself is kind of like, again, new agey, where if you notice, when it's divine, it's what's best for everyone involved. And that's what we need. That's the energy we need on the planet right now, because there's too much divide. There's too much divide of people and their thing. So we want to embody those traits and realize that it's a higher consciousness, because that's all that God is the highest consciousness. But we honor that energy, and we honor it through spiritual law, because it's the same laws as universal laws and the laws of nature. The laws of nature, the laws of the universe, and the laws of God are all the same. And it's all got to line up like that. And if it doesn't line up like that for me, I don't like that. But I understand what you're saying. Some people say that it is new age and that it is. I think that it'll be good for you, but I know I see you have a lot of gifts. You have a lot of beautiful gifts. You're a beautiful person. And I know how much you gave. And this person is going to regret it. Trust me. My fear is, you motherfucker, are you going to regret it when it's too late, when she move on? Because you want to play all these games now? That's my issue. And it's like, you don't deserve that. And that's the thing. It's like, but it's, they're stupid. There's a reason why God says, like, men have to, again, that woman has to lead a man to God, because they don't know. They're not taught. They're really they were taught from a lower consciousness. Don't show your feelings. Don't be sensitive. But how do you not be sensitive? Is how do you not trust your feelings? That's how you know shit. It's like, don't do this. It's got to look a certain way. You don't. So they're not allowed to have a regular unfoldment process. And then they also inherited karma, and they also have to, there's all the stigmas that go along with it. So they need a good woman. They need a good woman. And believe me, Em, they're gonna see what else is out there, and it's gonna be like, no. And sometimes that's the issue. It's like, I feel like we're too young, it's too fast, and it's like, I don't know. And then what winds up happening is like they have to come back crying and be like, I'm sorry. And that's like, and then if you're smart, you're like, I'll let you come back, but I'm dating other people. Like, you're gonna have to prove yourself. It's like, because the way that you disrespected me was, and if they really like you, they're gonna really try and win you over. And people might think that that's crazy, but the truth of the matter is, people just don't change what they're familiar in treating. They treat you the way that they treat themselves, and they don't treat themselves well, is what Spirit says. Spirit says they need to evolve, because they only think about themselves. And so remember, they're primal. So their ego, male, it's again grounded, earth element. And so they're taught to be that way. And that's, we're trying to break that on the planet now, but it's a little bit getting distorted. And so that's the thing. It's like when people, like, they try and they try and fix it through fixing it outside, and I did that too, like, where you try and, like, change your hair, change your makeup, change your clothes, change the way you live, change everything, because you're like, I want things to be different. And so where Spirit says, change the inside, and it'll be there. So thank you for being on with me, and I will see you soon. Like I said, check out the Patreon when you're ready. And also check out my website, because I have a lot of free things on there, like Blog Talk Radio. Call up anytime you want to get a reading. Be interactive. Join with other like-minded people. Like I said, that's how you raise your energy. Yeah, like I said, there's a shit ton of free stuff out there. Connect to the other people, because what you'll see is, I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. And then what happens is you create yourself by saying, I like this, I took this class and I incorporate this, I do this and I do this. And then, and you meet with other people and you live your bliss. You're not living from the logical, analytical mind, which is a survival mind, the reptilian mind. You're living from your heart and your gut. And that's what Spirit's saying. You move out of a place of survive into thrive. Your guy is living in survive. You want to go to a place of thrive, because then you're like, why are you having so much fun? And why does your life look so good? And you're like, because I'm magic and you're not. That's really what it is. Okay. Bye-bye, Ann. I'll talk to you soon. And good luck. Keep me posted.